Hi guys, this is a video answer key for the Unit 4 Part 1 study guide that includes sections 4A through 4G, intro to fractions here. So this will be our first page. All right, so our learning targets are all listed here. Those are the standards set by the state. And for the first one here, it says decide whether the number is prime, composite, or neither. Put an X in the appropriate box for each number. So 3, we know that's our prime number. That's the second prime number. 2 is the first number. 15 is composite because it can be divided by 1 and 15, but also by 3 and 5. 0 we understand to be neither prime nor composite. 51 is actually composite. You might be tempted to think that that was prime, but 51 can be divided by 3 and 17, besides 1 and 51. And then 71, that is a prime number. The only factors of 71 are 1 and 71. All right, so now we're on to finding the greatest common factor here. Our two numbers are 50 and 70. If you are doing that with the ladder method, you would put 50 and 70 in the first rung of your ladder. I can see that these are divisible by 2, which gives me 25 and 35 here. I can see that 25 and 35 then are divisible by 5. 25 divided by 5 is 5, and 35 divided by 5 is 7. And so for greatest common factor, remember we only pick up the numbers on this side. So this is 2 times 5, which would give us 10 being our greatest common factor. If you were using the factor tree method, prime factorization, we would take 50 and list its prime factors here. So 2, and then 25 is 5 times 5. Our factor tree. The prime factorization then of 50 is 2 times 5 times 5, or 2 times 5 squared. And then the factor tree for 70 would look like 2 times 35. 2 is prime. And 5 times 7. Those are both prime. And so 2 times 5 times 7 is the prime factorization of 70. So for greatest common factor, we want to pick up all of the factors that are common to both numbers. And so we've got 2 in both of them and 5 in both of them. And so our greatest common factor would be 2 times 5, or 10. All right, for 18 and 42, ladder method, 18, 42. Those are both divisible by 2, of course. And so we get 9 and 21. And then 9 and 21 are both divisible by 3. So this is 3 and this is 7. They cannot be reduced anymore. And so again, for greatest common factor, we want to pick up the numbers along the side. So this would be 2 times 3, or 6 is our greatest common factor, the biggest number that will divide into both 18 and 42. Again, we use that for reducing fractions in our fraction unit. All right, if we're doing the factor trees, 18 would factor to 2 times 9. 2 is prime, so we're done with that train. And then 3 times 3, and 3 is prime, so we're done with that one. And then 42 factors into 7 times 6. 7 is prime. 6 is 3 times 2. 3 and 2 are prime, so we're done with all of our branches. And we see that we have 2 times 3 times 3 here, or 2 times 3 squared, and 2 times 3 times 7 here. The numbers that are common to both are 2 and 3. And so 2 times 3 is 6. So our greatest common factor is 6. Alrighty, now we're looking for least common multiple. So least common multiple of 8 and 12. We want, if we're using ladder method, 8 and 12. I can divide both of those by 2. I get 4 and 6. And both of those can be divided by 2 again. I get 2 and 3. For least common multiple, we make the L and we pick up all of the numbers. So it would be 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 3 is 24. So 24 is the smallest number that both 8 and 12 will divide into. Let's look at our factor tree method. So 8 factors to 4 times 2. 2 is done. And then 2 times 2. And then 12 factors to 6 times 2, and then 3 times 2 here on the 6. All right. Now we have to pick up the factors as many times as they occur. So we have 3 occurrences of 2, and we have 1 occurrence of 3. All right, so 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. All righty. So 2 times 2 times 2 times 3, again, will give us our 24. Least common multiple is 24. Least common multiple for 5 and 8, they don't have any common factors other than 1. And so the nice thing about this is we can just multiply 5 times 8 to get our least common multiple. Can't break these down any further together. And so 5 times 8 then would give us 40, would be our least common multiple. If we were looking at the ladder method, it would look like this maybe. We can only divide both of these by 1. That's 5 and 8. So you can see we're just going to be multiplying 5 times 8. Okay, that's page 1 of your study guide. Hope that went well. Please let us know if you have any questions, and tune in to the next video for page 2.